their technology, they're putting it in space. And so for us doing the same thing.
I have a problem if we don't.
Yeah.
Like, just because Trump thought of it, I'm not against it. Something that would stop the increasing number of rogue missiles that are in this world from maybe coming over here and incinerating me. Yeah, mark me down as a pro.
Alright, so I need to show you this clip from Real Time with Bill Maher, where Bill Maher is sitting on a panel having a debate about whether it's actually a good idea for the United States to invest in a missile defense system. And honestly, as I'm watching this entire exchange play out, I had one of those moments where I just had to sit back and think, wait, how are we still having this conversation in 2026? I mean, seriously, the Democratic Party has become so blatantly anti-America at this point, it's absolutely insane. But hey, before we dive into this, do me a quick favor. Don't forget to hit that like button, share this video, drop a comment down below, and make sure you subscribe. It genuinely helps the channel grow and keeps content like this coming your way. Alright, enough from me. Let's roll the clip.
That could cost hundreds of billions of dollars. Is that a good use of money?
Well, I mean, look, he's building, he wants to build an arch on the mall. He's building a place he can dance at the White House and do the YMCA. He's going to do that there. And he wants to build a dome. I mean,
you got to protect the dance hall.
True. By the way, I'm very excited. I'm very excited when the Democrats take the White House in 28, when we have the ballroom, the Pride Month in February is going to be great in that ballroom. But yeah, if we can have a
I don't know how serious you are, because
he's not being serious.
Well, that I wasn't being serious.
Okay.
But look, the missile defense system, we have a lot of technology in space that are these advanced technology programs, some of which we don't know how we fund because they're not funded by Congress. We move money around in the Pentagon. But I don't have a problem with that. I think that's totally fine. I mean, China's military capability is absolutely increasing, and I don't have a problem if we do a missile defense program. China's, their technology, they're putting it in space. And so for us doing the same thing.
I have a problem if we don't.
Yeah.
Like, just because Trump thought of it, I'm not against it. Something that would stop the increasing number of rogue missiles that are in this world from maybe coming over here and incinerating me. Yeah, mark me down as a pro for that. I'm pro having. Now, can we do it? I don't know. I read, he says it 3 years and 180 billion, and they say, well, that's bullshit. It's going to take 10. Whatever it is. Of course, everything is over scheduled and never comes in on time or on budget. But that's, to me, a worthy thing. And the ballroom, I don't give a shit. I really don't give a shit. I was reading it. This shows you how the media is. Everything is always on one side or the other. When he first mentioned it, it was all about, oh my God, he's desecrating the White House. Then I finally read, oh, well, they've done shit to the White House before. It's just a building, I think. Also, I realized after reading other people, we don't have a place when they have state dinners. They're doing it in a tent. This is America. So do I give a shit that he's doing this to the White House? I really don't.
Well, look, he raised the money privately.
Yeah, and it's private money.
And if Newsom wants to knock it down when he's president, then he can knock it down, right?
Save your ire for the things that matter.
That's right. But they don't know what matters.
Well,
you know as well as I do.
I don't give a shit.
That the media is not in the business any longer of reporting what matters. It's not. They make their money either hating or loving Donald Trump. Yeah. That's where the cash register is. What matters doesn't matter to them.
Okay.
You know that.
You think that Mamdani's election will lead more financial organizations to leave New York City for Wall Street South in Florida? Tell me, I've read that term just recently, Wall Street South, Florida. This is your state. What is that?
A lot of Wall Street guys have moved to Palm Beach. It's been happening really since COVID. It's accelerated with increases in taxes. It's not just out of New York. It's New Jersey, Connecticut, it's Chicago, it's California.
So they're fleeing high tax blue states for Florida. And
this is the luckiest guy in the world that Mamdani got elected, because his district is going to explode. My house, I live 8 miles outside of Queens, has gone up 20% in value since Mamdani announced. Okay?
Because
people aren't going to pay the punishing taxes. New York is the highest tax state in the union.
But you said your house value has gone up.
Yeah, because they're
people-
moving to Nassau County.
Oh, they're moving out of the city.
Out of
I
the
see.
city, and
I
they can
see.
still take the train back in the city and not pay the millionaire's tax or whatever crazy thing this guy wants. But what people don't understand is he can't raise the taxes unless the state okays it, and the state is not going to okay it.
So this whole conversation begins with what should be a straightforward national security discussion. The question is simple: should America invest in building up our missile defense capabilities? Now, that's not some throwaway topic. That's a legitimate concern about safeguarding our nation in a world that's becoming more volatile and unpredictable with each passing year. But instead of diving into the substance of that question, what do we get? This woke Democrat immediately pivots to sarcasm and starts lobbing cheap shots at Donald Trump. And listen, I've criticized Trump plenty myself. I'm not sitting here pretending he hasn't done things that deserve to be called out, especially when it comes to his position on abortion legislation. But when we're supposed to be talking about something as critical as missile defense, it shouldn't instantly devolve into yet another episode of woke culture theater. And this is precisely where Bill Maher steps in and pushes back against the nonsense. He essentially says, look, you can mock it all you want, but personally, I have no issue with the United States maintaining a missile defense system so I don't end up getting vaporized if things go sideways. And you know what? That's just plain common sense. But of course, these unhinged Democrats can't help themselves. They have to turn absolutely everything into a culture war battle. Because let's face the facts here, we're not living in the same reality we were 30 or 40 years ago. Technology has evolved, military capabilities have transformed. Nations like China and Russia are aggressively developing cutting-edge weapon systems, sophisticated delivery mechanisms, and advanced technologies that most civilians outside the defense sector don't even know exist. We're talking hypersonic missiles, offensive cyber warfare capabilities, space-based weaponry. There's an entire world of developments happening in the shadows that the average American citizen never hears about. And here's the thing, nobody actually knows the complete picture of what's being built behind closed doors. It's not like we can just hop on a rocket, cruise into orbit, and inspect what rival nations might be testing up there. We depend entirely on our intelligence community, defense experts, and strategic analysts who dedicate their entire professional lives to anticipating and countering emerging threats. So when the topic of bolstering our missile defense infrastructure comes up, it's not some crazy idea to suggest maybe we ought to play it safe and prepare for the worst. Now look, I'm not saying we should just hand the Pentagon a blank check. I'm not suggesting we abandon accountability or transparency. The reality is, when we're talking about spending taxpayer dollars on massive defense initiatives, there damn well better be rigorous oversight to ensure that money is being used effectively and that these systems actually function as advertised. But taking that discussion seriously is a far cry from dismissing it outright just because the idea happened to come from someone associated with Trump. And that's exactly why moments like this are so incredibly frustrating for viewers across the country. The other angle Maher brings up, and honestly, I think this is a crucial observation, is how the media ecosystem itself shapes and distorts these conversations. At the end of the day, television is fundamentally a business operation. Cable news networks and political talk shows are locked in constant competition for eyeballs, ratings points, and advertising revenue. And within that cutthroat environment, rage and controversy consistently get more airtime and engagement than nuanced, substantive policy debates. So instead of witnessing an intelligent exchange about missile defense technology, fiscal priorities, or strategic deterrence principles, what we actually get is the discussion veering off into punchlines about White House DA Corps and bitter partisan attacks. And this is exactly where I think many viewers, particularly those who've been paying attention to American politics for decades, start feeling genuinely exhausted by it all, because it begins to feel like we're watching the exact same scripted performance on endless repeat. Someone raises a legitimate policy question, and within seconds the conversation morphs into tribal mudslinging. Everybody lands their rehearsed applause lines, and the original substantive question just evaporates without ever being seriously addressed. Meanwhile, the actual pressing concerns, our national security posture, defense budget allocation, emerging technological threats, just sit there unresolved, waiting for adults to finally step up and tackle them. Anyway, I want to hear your take on this. Do you think Maher made a valid point about anchoring these discussions in reality, or do you believe the pushback he received was justified? I'm genuinely interested in how you all are processing this. Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. And hey, thank you so much for tuning in and watching this video. If you want to keep supporting the channel and see more content like this, make sure to smash that like button, share this with your friends, leave a comment, and hit subscribe. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care!